Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Tap in. When you tap in into something that is happening, you didn't put him there.
No problem.
But when it comes to Ato, he put him there.
No, I'm saying that you tap in.
But
look, I thought he put him there. No, they say
allow Musah.
The record shows that Ato never led from April 2025 until March 2026. That is the record. The record shows that it has always been led first by Jenana and then by Haruna Idrisu all the way till December 2025. Now, what has happened between 2025 and 2026? And Ato led for the first time.
But when did Mosquito lead, or Mosquito never led?
There are two types of polls.
Okay.
One among general voters who express who they prefer to lead the party. They don't vote. That is what Ato is leading.
Okay.
So if you are worried that he's leading, don't worry. Those people don't vote.
Okay.
Among the delegates, the first poll was in 31st March to 4th April. General Mosquito led by 28%. In the second poll a week after, he still led by 29%. So Ato is not leading in the delegate as we speak today. So that is the fact, and that is the record. So people should not be throwing numbers here and there and say we've put Ato some. Look, we tell you the truth. Whatever we hear from the public, that is what we will tell you. You can disagree with it. You can go and do your own and believe in it. We have no issues with that. But we, as Global Info, do not add a single vote to anybody's number or take away a single vote from anybody's number. What you see is what you get.
Okay. So the issue is, can this, your polling thing and how it is looking, be attributed to what we've seen between the two ministers? Do you think it should be?
Look, I'm a finance person and I know government works in the way the government works, the Ministry of Finance and releases. There are other ministers that are crying the same thing that are not in the contention. Okay. What about them?
So it's not as if Ato is mafia and people who are
I'm
ambitious.
just making it. You see, in government, we have budget approved by Parliament. You will not get the entire budget released to you.
The actual.
There is also an element now that has been added. Authorization, commitment of authorization, which is you have to seek permission before you go and commit the government into a liability. When that comes to you, and you go on to procurement, and that is approved, you start procuring. The release of the money comes later, right? The release comes to later. So the fact that you have been allowed to commit means you can sign a contract. Just that the money will not come to you to pay. But when the money is being so-called released, it goes to Controller and Accountant General. They wait for the GRA to bring the money before the money is given to you. So finance doesn't have their own money unless it's a project finance where they've secured funding for a specific project, sitting somewhere in the bank. When you come, it goes to you. So those may be differences where you can see these issues. But look, a government that came from life support cannot have cash sitting there and be dashing out. So issues will arise, and I think they have to find a way of dealing with it as politicians. Okay. But the poll, what the poll is simply doing is that we are telling you what people are telling us. And if you look at one side of the poll, which is very important, which I always mention, the poll has told us that people would like to judge you by performance, like to judge you by your vision, and like to judge you by how they deem you have played a good part of this government performance. So if these are the top three issues, what should be your focus as a minister or as a potential contender? Is to focus on what will make you perform, what will make you be seen as a part of as a team player, and that doesn't involve infighting. And when you infight, that will not show that you are performing. That will not show that you are a good part of the government, and that will not spell out your vision that you have espoused in your ministry. So that you focus on what they are looking for rather than where they are in the polls.
Should it be them who should be doing this, or the president who is their boss? Should he be the one getting involved in this matter and possibly sacking or calling them to order, or they themselves should do an introspection?
Look, as a minister, we are probably over a year away from the process. But you cannot tell them to sit aloof and wait until that time. that will be too little, too late. Some will do exploratory work, research, to see their chances, and that should be allowed. There should be general guidelines on what they can do and what they cannot do, so that they don't cross the line. And when you cross the line, then the man must crack the whip.
Okay. Duncan, the internal party matters will definitely come up. What should be the role of the president in preventing what we are seeing? Because it looks a bit ugly, what we have seen between the two ministries.
Sanda, indeed, the NDC would have a lot of controls they would need to, exercise. Some people disagreed with the party's earlier position that if, of course, you are holding a public office and you need to get a party position, you should resign. Mm-hmm. People disagreed, but eventually and overall, there's some wisdom being seen in that. It is difficult sometimes to control resources and also position for a certain position. And so if people decided to do what regular people do, Sanda, if I'm competing with you for your seat, I'll make sure that your designer or the clothing guy who sews beautifully.
He's called Huchi, he's in Ashama.
I'll make sure Huchi doesn't even have a place to sew.
You burn down his shop?
Possibly. I'll let the flood remove the shop, and Huchi himself will be,
will be floating.
Yeah, will be floating, so that you don't even get anything to wear to come and sit here. So these challenges clearly will hit the NDC government, and I do think that for everyday people like me, what the vote for the government to do is to give them jobs, is to give them a very level playing field so that even if they have businesses, they can be able to sustain those businesses and sustain their families. When you wake up to such, back and forth between two powerful ministries, one that controls everything I eat,
the purse,
and one that controls, everything currency, then there's a problem. And I do think that unlike Dennis, who chooses to believe both of them, I believe none of them.
Okay. Then the same thing.
I believe none of them.
Then it's the same thing.
Then we are the same.
You are just like they.
We are not the same.
Equal number.
Sanda, I'm not
we balance
the
each other. It's fine.
You have to, if you believe one of them, then you are not the same.
One is telling the truth.
He believes both, so he thinks that both are true.
But they are noble men.
I don't believe in it because I think that both are not right.
No, MPP doesn't have propaganda secretary, but then
so
he's taking that. He's not taking that.
I think
what is right. Who is right? Okay, the what is right. Who?
Then is. But if you believe both, then you are wrong.
Yes.
No, because fact is sacred, and when two people are, at loggerheads over a matter, like what happened in the king's palace in the Bible, two women brought a child and said, "This is mine. This is mine." Solomon, right? The two cannot be right.
Go to church.
So who? You've done the hot, we agree.
The two cannot be right.
Who is right?
But the two can be wrong.
What is right, we agree. But
the two can be wrong.
No, this one, the one is
It
right.
says both are wrong.
I think both are wrong.
Both of them are wrong. They are lying. Both of them are lying.
Both of them are lying. I don't believe any of them.
Oh, so they are both lying. That's also I agree with you. That one I agree with you.
You don't agree with me.
I agree with you.
You don't agree with me.
Then it's okay. It's okay.
I agree with you. Both are lying.
But Sanda, at the heart of all of this, is the economy.
Yeah.
And Dennis fantastically cites that Cocoa Board had to be moved from a Greek ministry to finance. I think that if you listen to Atoforsen earlier, when he assumed the finance ministry role, two of the critical institutions that he had problems with had to do with ECG and had to do with Cocoa Board. I don't know about Go Board or PMMC and how it found its way the other way, but at least for Cocoa Board, for ECG, I was at a forum where we were discussing, even before the election, the amount of debt that sat in both books, ECG, Cocoa Board. So I will not be surprised that at some point,
So he doesn't trust
They
Eric
would
to
wanna-
manage the debt.
well, Eric, you created the debt.
Yeah, so he doesn't trust Eric to manage it.
But he's the
I-
finance minister, so
Yeah,
So at some point,
the same thing.
if those decisions are come to,
Yeah, he
maybe
doesn't
fair
trust
and
Eric.
well, so those are your words. So I haven't said he doesn't trust
then
Eric.
ignore him.
Okay.
I'm analyzing just
Ignore him. Ignore him.
So
His
you
microphone
see,
is off.
you might come to a point where certain tough decisions will be made. If these decisions are made and the recipient has not received the decision as maybe one for the country, but it is one that is politically aligned or tainted, I have an interest in the presidency you do, as is being circulated out there, and for which reason I would stifle you. Because if you go to the Agric Ministry, really, if you are looking for a cash cow, really, it would have been Cocoa Board.
Yeah.
But then again, Ato comes and Cocoa Board is not a cash cow. It's bleeding or hemorrhaging so badly that he has to take drastic measures. So whilst he might be right on one hand, on the other hand, if you listen to Dennis, he might be wrong.
because Eric can handle it. Eric knows cocoa. That's what I'm saying.
So you
Basically,
see,
that's what I'm
Sandra,
saying.
I am telling you why I don't trust the two.
Either of them.
I don't believe either of them.
They're
But
both lying.
you see, at the heart of all of this, there's a very important point either Dennis or Lamtek made. A very important point.
If it's important, it's Dennis. If it's not, then it's Lamtic. Let's continue.
Sandra, I think at this point you've been hoodwinked by Dennis's.
He miraculously did me. Continue.
You see, at the heart of all of this is the Ghanaian people looking for the planting for whatever.
Jobs.
That one
That's
was Akoto.
Oh, I even forgot one. You know, even in
wait,
Kokon,
you see?
No, anyway, no, I forgot that one.
Wait, Dennis, you are taking all my time.
Sorry,
You
sorry.
see,
Even the
the
Nkokon
government itself says that I'm going into a Nkokon Kitikiti program.
They took it from Eric.
I'm going for fertilizer. If you read the Agric Minister's last, statement, you get a sense that some of the budgetary lines, the most that has been provided for is 15%. We've already crossed half year, the first 6 months. I would think that beyond the back and forth, the finance ministry should see to it that the ministries are not stifled.
Okay.
Because once you do, you are not stifling the minister. You are stifling the hundreds of thousands or millions of farmers, right? Who would
So it's
probably
not
require.
personal.
It shouldn't be personal. I don't think that, even if I don't like you, Sanda, right? And you are my keenest competitor, and you also had an institution that I need to provide funding for. Beyond you probably will be the poor farmer in Bompurugu who is waiting for fertilizer.
And ultimately, it's the government that would suffer if.
The government will pay for it.
But
at the
again,
end
we
of-
can't prove that it's true that Ato is stifling the
No.
ministry
If you go
deliberately.
through,
So
I saw what Dennis was referring to as the 11 p.m.
Yeah,
statement.
yeah.
If you go through that and indeed
it's true.
it's true, then Ato should sit up and ensure that funds get to the ministries, because without the ministries coming on to work,
The whole thing
it becomes
collapsed.
difficult for the government to sustain anything.
Right.
I am not surprised that suddenly the city is losing some grounds, right? If you don't sustain food production and you continue to import, you would lose. So they may not like each other, they may like each other, they may be brothers, they may not be brothers. But government work should not suffer
Very well.
simply because people have their aspirations. Sandra, you and I do, but we will not let Ghana suffer because we have our own aspirations.
Thank you, Duncan.
One day you become a lawyer, one day I become a GPR2 chairman, but whatever we do,
I'll represent you.
you should be able to represent.
Thank you,
me,
Duncan. Thank you.
representative.
Thank you, Duncan.
Duncan basically attacked Eric.
He didn't attack him.
That if what he saw is true, the thing is on our Greek
You see,
let's
you
leave
see,
it. Let's leave
as
it.
for mischief,
Let me- let-
mischief, then-
If
no,
it is
no,
People,
Conola.
people, my time is almost up. Let's talk now about the National Democratic Congress. President Mahama will not seek re-election. The party has to choose a flag bearer. NPP has already dealt with that matter. They have a flag bearer. They are ready for battle. NDC yet to think about it. And then we saw a back and forth between two ministries. And there's a view that it's actually a flag bearer campaign undertone. Is that the case? Can the NDC deal with this matter without any bruises? John Osai Kwapon is a political analyst and a research fellow, CDD. John, should I say doctor or sir? You're welcome.
Hi.
Which one are you? Are you doctor, professor, or mister?
John is fine.
John, okay. When I say John, people would think I'm talking about John Dumelo, my brother. So, are you in his constituency? Are you in Ablekuma West? Do you vote in Ablekuma West?
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. This public spats we've seen between two ministries is not a regular thing, is it?
Oh, I don't recall seeing any such public spat. Maybe it has happened and maybe I didn't see it or hear it, but it's unusual to see two ministries under the same government engage in such a public feud over whether a budget allocation has been released or not. I can't recall any situation like that in the past.
Okay, but should we be seeing this as a bureaucratic disagreement over budgetary allocation, or we would be forgiven if we remove a layer and say, oh, wait a minute, these two guys actually have presidential ambitions, at least that's what's been said, and that's what is playing out?
I mean, you can take the benevolent view and say that this is, is a bureaucratic spat. But in the context in which we are, and knowing that, this is a party that very soon, in the foreseeable future, will be making determinations about who gets to lead the party next. It is very difficult to remove the element, the undertones of politics from this public spat, because for me, if it is really a bureaucratic disagreement over whether truly the finance ministry has made and released funds to the agric ministry or not, and there's a disagreement over it, this is something that could have been easily resolved privately, right? Minister to minister, colleague to colleague, you write and say, it is my understanding that there's a claim that monies have been released to my ministry, but from what I know, sitting here at the ministry, no monies have been released. Find out why it has not, or if it has, why are you making those claims? But these are things that you can resolve easily privately, especially because you're colleagues in the same government, in the same party. When it becomes public, then you make yourself vulnerable to other narratives of, are there political undertones, and is there something bigger behind this public spat of, do I have my budget allocation or not?
Okay, now who can deal with this matter if we believe that it is NDC flag bearer contest that is playing out? Who's supposed to deal with it? President John Mahama or the Council of Elders of the party or the executives of the party? Don't forget the chairman of the party has been fingered as also being a potential. So how does the NDC deal with this matter to prevent an implosion?
So for me, all of these persons, individuals, have a role to play in helping resolve this. The party leadership, the Council of Elders, have a role to play in terms of saying to some of these key figures, look, think party first, think government first. Some of these public feuds do not inure to the benefit, of the party. It can be distracting. You can lose focus. All of those things are things that the party leadership can bring some of these individuals who have been pointed out as fueling this sort of public dispute to say, take a step back, relax. How can we get this straightened up and resolved? So they have a role to play in that. The president also has a role to play because these are ministers in his government who are publicly feuding over a budgetary allocation and whatever is driving this public feud. So he also has a role to pull these ministers back to say, what is the issue? How can this be resolved, again, without creating unnecessary distractions for the party? Because at the end of the day, yes, that contest would come, and the party eventually would pick someone to lead the party into the next election. But there is also a country to govern. There are things that the party promised the people of Ghana. And so you don't want a flag bearer race to be that thing that sort of takes focus away from the things and the issues for which you won the 2024 election that Ghanaians are expecting you to deliver. Which is why, for me, I'm hoping that those feuding, those backing the characters in the feuds would go back again and read, for me, what I believed was a very sound advice from Dr. Callistus Mahama in that piece that he wrote, which essentially his point was, look, the time to decide who leads the party will come. But what Ghanaians are going to judge us on is not who gets to lead the party and how we settled that issue. It is whether we were able to deliver the things we promised and for which they repose trust in us and, elected us. That was his message to the NDC, to the key individuals involved in all of this. And for me, that should be the overarching thing that should guide those who are involved in some of these parts, some of these public feuds over if it's a succession issue, to think about delivering, because it is that delivery that Ghanaians would look on to either to reward or to punish the government.
All right, let me come in studio. Lamtik, your party, the problem has started, or?
Well, I don't think that there's a problem.
Are you sure?
That we are...
Or you haven't seen the statement that was issued by the PRO of the Agri Ministry? He is calling the Finance Ministry and the Minister infantile. If I have to Google infantile so that you can tell you what it actually means. No, I want to read it.
You don't need to read it. No, read it.
No, I want to read it. Infantile.
You wanted me to read the law.
No, I want to read it. So this is how the Agri Ministry PRO described the Finance Ministry headed by Ato Forson.
And I have to hear it so I can compare.
He titled it infantile. And infantile is an adjective that refers to things characteristic of infants or the stage of infancy.
Like people are not matured.
Like people wearing diapers.
Well, whatever he said, and whatever the meaning is.
Let me read the title of the statement.
It's very important.
The title of the statement is stop the infantile propaganda before it explodes. Just say it hasn't even exploded.
This is bad. Even MPP will not write this out.
And this was signed.
MPP will not write this.
And this was signed by Samuel Hunto, Media Liaison Officer, Office of the Minister for Food and Agriculture. He said that stop the infantile propaganda before it explodes. Charlie, the thing is serious.
Whatever is out there, whatever is attributed to the media liaison officer, I think it's very unfortunate. He needs to be guided. I mean, these are official assignments, official duties.
I beg you, let me do this last one before you comment. I'm the one who will give you time. I'll give you time. The last but one paragraph. He says,
why are you putting more salt in this matter?
Last but two paragraphs. He says,
we have seen, it's okay. We know the story of the story.
Dennis said he hasn't seen the statement. Dennis, did you see the statement?
So
let me read it. So let me read it. It says,
you will never see it.
It says,
go and find the law in the
it says, public financial management is governed by official allotments, cash releases, and actual budget availability, not by public relations narratives or propaganda. The Ghanaian people deserve transparency, accuracy, and honesty in the management of public finances, particularly in a sector as critical as agriculture and food security. Chada is very serious. This from a low officer.
I will repeat what I said, and I will say it again. It is simple. It's very unfortunate. Yeah. He needs to be guided. Such statements will create unfortunate situations at the ministry and create problems for everyone. I mean, whether payment have been made or not made, it's a matter of fact that can be established anytime, because these are transactions, these are documented transactions which can be traced. And so I don't expect that someone from the ministry who is a media liaison officer will speak in the manner he did. I pray that, unlike Afenyo Makin's account that was compromised, I pray that these are not compromised documents from his outfit. But whatever it is, it's unfortunate. I know that some are drawing into some are drawing this into trying to create the impression that there's some challenges in the NDC.
There is none,
following up to the flag bearership and all that. Naturally, when the party is in power and the president's term is about ending, there will be all this going on because
the president's term is not about ending. No, it's 2.5 years more.
Yes, he still have 2.5 years. So that's why the call by Dr. Callistus is very relevant and very important because I mean we are nowhere near the transition period to see this happening. But of course, some people think that they can be early birds. Some people think that they have early interest and they need to put their foot out there first. Whatever it is, it may also be some perception that we are fueling it out there and not really the reality. But it is expected that times like this, you will see some of these things do happen. All we need to do is let's slow down, let's be calm and manage our situation better. We haven't even gotten to the real race yet. The time will come for us to deal with it. But I'm sure in the few days, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Agri would resolve this and this issue will be put to.
Okay. As Empire, Dennis, you have gone through this before, so maybe you can advise how.
Dennis, I use less than 30 seconds to explain.
because you cannot talk.
Yes, you don't have anything to say.
Kafra.
Be careful. So Sandra, I think that the president, wherever he is, I hear he's in Belarus.
Yeah, he's in Belarus.
Minsk. You should put the finance minister on a Zoom call ASAP. All these troubles and problems are stemming from the finance minister.
Oh, how? He didn't issue a statement.
No, you don't worry. But he triggered this whole conversation.
His deputy, actually.
Yeah, but the deputy only represents the minister. Yeah, he triggered this whole conversation. And I think, first of all, that was needless. You don't have to lie. I'm not the one calling him a liar. The Agric minister is calling him a liar. He didn't have to lie on the Agric minister.
No, I can't even ask you to withdraw because you are hiding behind
the point. I'm just speaking to the issue. Because immediately you mentioned it. No, I can't say on truth. The guy said he's lying. I cannot say different. I can't use a different word. Immediately you mentioned the statement. I had gone to read, so now I have read.
Oh, now you read it. Within 5 seconds, you managed to read the whole statement.
No wonder it's called miracle.
And Sandra, let me tell you something. I have been saying this, and I'll come to the matter, but I've been saying this for the past 2 months, and the NDC, they keep playing with it. You see, the NDC, if you study them from 1992 till now, this is the only time they actually have to deal with what all political parties truly deal with.
Which is?
See, 1992 all the way to 2000 was Rollins. He was completely in charge. Then he planted his guy, Atamils, on them. And you see, the thing about political parties is that immediately you get the mantle, for somebody to take it away from you is very, very difficult. Until you are done, it's almost impossible for anybody to take it from you. You feel like, look at all the political parties, and not just MPP, even in mature democracy. Right. You look at it.
No, I'm saying now, once you hold a steer, nobody.
Now, eventually, when Atamils came, it was Atamils until unfortunately he passed. Automatically, they had like 6 months of elections, so the vice president stepped in. And the vice president picked Misata. Then there was a seeming attempt to have an internal contest, but the guy was a sitting president. Fonka Games. It was almost.
The Fonka Games was against Mills.
Yeah. This one was Kojo Bonsu and Dofo and Co. Against Mahama. It was a non-starter because the guy was the one sitting on the chair now. So this is the.
But that was even the second.
This is the first time. This is the first time
when he was in opposition.
This is the first, as a leader, he was already a former president.
Contested when he was leaving 2016.
The point I'm making is that he was in charge of the party as a de facto leader, on the back of being the sitting president as they came to opposition. Everybody was running to him. In opposition, it was even better for him because he is the man that everybody was going to. This is the first time it is now an open for all contest. Open for all. Everybody now has to come in.
Even 17 people can go.
Oh, everybody, they can even be 50. I'm telling you, if we don't take care, by next year we can have 50. The names Musah is mentioning, they are not the only name. But he keeps adding. Initially, he started with that.
I thought you don't rely on Musah. Why do you not be careful?
But why his data is, I don't believe.
You don't rely. You don't
he doesn't believe in Musah and his data, but he can reference.
But that's appropriating and reprobating. You can't be saying that I disregard this and yet is my
have I used it?
No, he's just saying that even Musah, who he does not trust.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
So he's not appropriating and reprobating.
And yet you are relying on it.
I'm not relying on it for anything.
He's just using it for argument.
I'm using that even him, who I don't trust his data, keeps adding on people. Oh, he's a Democrat, he understands. Keep adding on people.
Do you know he's an achim?
Yeah, I know. I know everything.
He can
about
trim Mansu, Papa.
No, before-
I know from his place.
Ah, you are from the same place?
My father from the same place.
Dennis, stop doing this.
Before I go into a
That's your
debate with
uncle.
you, you know I don't do emotional debates. I stick to the facts. So I know everything. I'm very much. I stayed on the issues.
Okay.
I disagree with him 100%. I am the only Ghanaian that 100% disagrees
No,
with him.
Paul Adumochi also.
Yeah, maybe Paul and I. Yeah, Paul and I, we have a lot in common. But let me come to the substantive matter. So Umaru, this is the first time they're actually going to go through this. But you see, there's something going on in this government. And John Mahama No. 2, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama No. 2, is gradually turning out to be one of the weakest, or probably the weakest leader this country is seeing since 1992.
Oh, how?
Not because he is weak, but he's choosing to be weak. It's as if he doesn't even care.
Like failing to fire his finance
Yeah, he
minister
doesn't care.
after
You see, and
after
that was the
Parliament
danger.
asked him
That was
to.
the danger some people were pointing to us when a president who had lost elections, gone home for 8 years, was seeking to come back. If we want to see a dead goat, we are not going to see it in John Mahama now. Because what is happening? Tell me since 1992 when it happened. Maybe the only one that beats this is when Rollins beat Aka.
It wasn't a beat, it was a slap.
Slapped Aka. That is probably the only incident that can beat this. That 2 cabinet ministers of 2 of the most important real sectors of our economies who sit in cabinet are doing this publicly. See, initially, I was expecting it to be amongst their followers. You let it be an unscrupulous spokesperson that has written something, and
But
then
it's not the
another
minister who has spoken.
Please,
The
you
media
are
is-
pretending not to know the issues. 11 p.m. last night. I haven't slept for 3 days because I care about this country, and we cannot allow our leaders to. So I've been awake. 11 p.m. last night. That was when the Agric Ministry.
How did 11
Issued
p.m. become last
a
night?
new
Agric
statement.
Ministry. 11 p.m. last night. That was when the Agric Ministry
Issued a new statement,
issued an additional statement officially on their letterhead.
but signed by media relations units. The guy, Hunto, has not been made to sign that one,
Exactly.
which is higher than.
Civil servants. This is coming directly from the minister.
No, not signed by him.
No, you don't understand.
Go ahead.
You are a PR person.
Yes.
The PR, when I say I release a statement on behalf of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it's Dr. Mahmoud
it is him
Bawumia.
speaking, yes.
Exactly. So don't come and make it look like the ministers don't know what is going on.
Dennis, go ahead,
And
go
let me
ahead.
tell you something. In the course of the day, the Ministry for Finance lied against the Agric Minister.
Allegedly.
No, the Agric Minister said he lied. Then the Agric Minister came back and said, no, the Finance Minister rather is lying and being infantile and peddling propaganda. Then the Finance Ministry released data to prove that the Agric Minister is lying,
Yeah.
that he is speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Then the Agric Ministry came back with data to disprove. They came back with some commitment letter and
Yeah.
allotment letter
Yeah.
to prove that the Finance Minister is the one lying. I believe both of them. Both of them
You
are
have to
speaking the
choose one.
truth.
You have to
No,
choose one.
they are both speaking the truth.
Okay.
Eric is telling me the truth when he says Ato is a liar. Ato is telling me the truth when he says Eric is a liar. So they are both speaking the truth. Then, midnight, close to midnight, Eric now releases a statement. Officially.
Honorable Eric.
Oh, I mean, like footballers and politicians, you know, as far as there's no respecter of age or, you know, so forgive me. Everything is blanket, Honorable His Excellency. He releases a statement. Now giving official details of releases to him, which completely disproves the finance minister's position. And that for me is where I find it very alarming. And my worry stems from the fact that I am now beginning to understand why certain bad things are happening in our agri sector, especially with cocoa farmers. That since October 2025, cocoa farmers in this country have not been paid.
Cocoa farming is under finance ministry.
I'm
not
coming.
agric. Okay.
Please, let me make my point.
Yeah, but
I'm
if
not-
you
I'm
say
not-
something that I have to correct.
Am I
you.
not speaking about both agri and finance ministers?
Yeah, but you're talking about starvation of funds to agri
Agri,
ministry.
I haven't said starvation. Why are you using that word? I'm
said
saying
that-
now I understand why certain things are happening in the agri sector. It's
Yeah, but
cocoa
agri
agri.
sector doesn't include the cocoa.
Cocoa is agri sector.
But
It is
cocoa
only
is dealt with
administratively. No, please. Don't you see when you disrupt me? I'll debate you and then
No.
you are wrong. I am saying that now I understand why certain things are happening badly in our agri sector. Cocoa is the bedrock of our agri sector. Where it sits administratively is a different matter.
No problem. Proceed.
Now, if cocoa farmers are owed since October 2025, if cocoa farmers have seen haircuts for the first time since 1992, or close to the 100 years of doing cocoa in Ghana. This is the first time cocoa farmers are seeing a haircut. It is because Ato and Eric are fighting. And I explain to you. Eric was the champion of cocoa for the opposition NDC when MPP was in power. Cocoa was seated directly under Agric Ministry when MPP was in power. Immediately, Eric was appointed Agric Minister. Ato took cocoa from Agric and brought it to finance.
Oh, Ato does not have such powers.
Oh, let Ato come and speak.
No, but you know that. Oh, no, but we all understand.
You speak for Ato.
No, Balanti, you see,
you
you
speak for
submitted
Ato.
your you didn't.
You are disrupting me. See, you made a lot of wrong things.
I understand the power of a finance minister, so you
and the finance minister can take a agency and place.
Maybe the president. That was the president's priority. So
I will even come to that one. I'll come to that one.
Okay.
Ato strips.
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Ato strips. Oh, Charlie, but you are disrupting me a lot.
I actually gave you more, but you yielded.
Because I can actually give you the time to speak if you want.
Yes.
On this matter. Should I give you the time to speak on this matter?
Dennis, proceed.
Ato strips the cocoa sector from Agric Ministry and brings it to finance. So now, the Agric Minister, who is supposed to, as part of the critical Agric, sector, deal with cocoa, has nothing to do with cocoa.
But he has cashew, he has...
I am just talking about cocoa. You can talk about cashew when you have your turn. Now, let me also go to the other issue. So apart from the Agric, Eric and Ato's banter, there are other undertoning issues in the government that is affecting our economy. And that is why from day one, I keep telling you, there's been a contradictory economic management in this country, where we are seeing sexy macroeconomic indicators not reflecting the microeconomy. I said it here some time ago. How is it that every other thing is going down in terms of the macroeconomy, but you, City, your research shows that foodstuff keeps increasing. Prices of foodstuff keep increasing. Listen, for the last almost 2 years, let's say 1.5 years that this finance minister has been in place, every macroeconomic indicator has broken every history and record. And yet, we have the highest level of transport cost. We have seen unprecedented increase in electricity in the 12th calendar month, 24%. We have seen unprecedented increase in 12 calendar months for water, 15%. Teachers have worked for 15 months, they cannot be paid. Cocoa farmers have received haircuts in the history of this country's cocoa production. They are owed from October 2025 into billions. That is not even all. Cocoa from last season is stuck in the rooms of farmers. In fact, it is estimated that almost about 90,000 tons of cocoa is stuck because the cocoa crusher people say they don't have money to buy, and they are afraid that if they collect it, it becomes debt on them, and government will not pay, like the ones they've already given to government, and government hasn't paid. Listen, there are serious issues in this country. Very serious issues. And if we don't speak to these issues, and we continue to water it down, we wake up one day and everything is there. Look at what is happening. Almost every good indicator that you saw towards the end of 2025, which you, yourself, Dankwah, and the rest, which I agreed with you, were praising this government for, is all coming back to ground zero.
You have 2 minutes. Let's go.
Today, fuel that, I don't mind, I can even leave the thing. Today, fuel that you met at 14.9 is inching towards 16. So did we go or did we come? Meanwhile, it was one of the things everybody was praising you for. Everything seems to be heading back to where you took it from. So when Eric is complaining, Eric has a point. The PMMC, it was an allowance. It has been moved to finance.
Okay. PMMC is gold board, or? It
was under, yes. It was under lands. It has been moved to, how do you call it?
Finance.
For finance. There are almost about 4 or 5 institutions that used to be in other ministries that Ato has crawled all of them under finance. Today, go to education ministry. Haruna is just a toothless boot. He's just sitting there doing nothing. You know why?
No.
But I'm telling you that you are saying,
you cannot say.
I'm telling you that you are saying,
What do you mean by he's there doing?
I'm telling you that you are saying,
No.
Everybody in this country, except you, who is pretending, knows that the Get Fund CEO, the Get Fund CEO is actually having. Yeah, but if you come and debate me, I'll debate you. I'm supposed to be debating, and you are debating me. I'm telling you that if you go to Get Fund, the Get Fund CEO that's supposed to be reporting to the education minister is basically not speaking to the education minister. He reports to the finance minister. I am telling you, I'm not saying they are saying. Senate used to sit at Ministry for Labor and Employment. Today, it has been brought to finance. These are all issues going on in the government. So if you see these institutions struggling and they are not doing well, put it squarely at the doorstep of Ato Forcing. And you see, a lot of people have been quiet in this government for a very long time. You and I met here some time ago, and I was telling you about how when you go and read the 2025 budget, it tells you glaringly what is happening. The 2025 budget, when we ended the year, had just about 30% of government's planned expenditure actually executed. Ministries were being starved.
So you said the president should be
institutions were being starved.
So what should the president do in wrapping up?
Institutions were being starved because, according to the Minister for Finance, he decides who his favorite is, and he has two favorites: the roads minister, who he's pushing really big, and then the energy minister. If you are not Atu's favorite, you don't get funded, and woe betides you if you put up your name and it finds yourself in the forecasting, then you are in trouble. Then Atu will begin to clip your wings. That is why Eric is complaining. Haruna is there. The other guy, Kradia, his matter is a different matter altogether.
Which other guy?
But I'm not the one. The chairman called him the other guy. I don't know. I'm looking for him. The other guy, his matter is a different matter. Then you come to the chairman general himself, who is waiting in all of this and looking at all of them. The biggest question is, where is the president?
It's in Minsk.
It's been happening for 48 hours at least. Where is the president? The fact that even at 11 p.m. yesterday, a statement was still released should tell you that the president just doesn't care, or he's enjoying it. Because if he's not enjoying it,
or it's not a big issue.
If he's not enjoying it, and he doesn't see this as a big issue, then it's pathetic that two cabinet ministers are having such open spats, open attack at each other, calling themselves infantile, calling themselves propagandists, calling themselves liars. If the president of the republic doesn't think that this is a serious issue, then we are in trouble. But as I conclude, mine is not to tell the president what to do. He has always been a dead goat, so he may not necessarily even pay attention to me. Mine is to simply tell the president that whilst your people jostle and wrestle for power, let it not affect my transport fare. Let it not affect flooding areas. You had about 16 or so promises that you said you were going to do to deal with our flooding. You haven't implemented even one. I think we'll come to that one. You haven't even implemented one. But as long as these things are affecting me, and are affecting my cousins and my friends, it is of an issue that the president must address.
Thank you, Dennis.
Ultimately, mine is to choose which side I am on. He hasn't told us. For me, I am on both sides. Both teams to score. Ato is right. Eric is right. Both of them are speaking the truth, and I believe both of them. The president must act.
You are approbating and reprobating. Lamtik, you can do a quick 1 minute.
But if he does 1 minute, would I do it?
No, I'm giving no.
How many minutes?
I gave him minutes, which he yielded back.
He's going to make go on. Give him 10 minutes. Give him 10 minutes. Let him speak.
Miracle has spoken. He's made certain allegations and making certain attributions to Ato. I mean, Ato has no power to remove any agency and bring it under
the president is behind him. Okay.
I mean, whatever realignment of any agency would be the decision of the president, and it is for the good cause. I mean, bringing the Senate, bringing the cocoa sector under the finance ministry are matters that are decided by the president and not Ato. To create this impression out there that Ato is doing this is unfortunate. And it's very misleading.
I'm not the one saying it. Agric minister said Ato is sabotaging.
Please let him speak.
Agric minister said that Ato is sabotaging.
Dennis, you are sabotaging my show now.
For the first time, I'm disrupting you, so you are worried.
Lamtik, please proceed.
Likewise, he makes certain wild allegations about the president being the weakest. Come on.
You mentioned Akufo-Addo.
This would never happen. We lived in this country when Akufo-Addo was the president. His own party members, his MPs, stood out and said, listen, remove the finance minister.
You wish there was MP. Cabinet minister, there's nothing worse than that. Cabinet, now when the president controls them. He doesn't control MPs.
Will you continue doing this?
I will, because you did it to me. I will not listen to you.
80 members of parliament.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Did a press conference.
He refused.
Who are independent.
Several times.
Cabinet ministers, 2 cabinet ministers.
Dennis.
One of Akufo-Addo's core reasons for keeping Ken at the point is that he was leading the conversation with IMF, and therefore you should keep him there. I mean, several decisions of Akufo-Addo, thank me for this. Several decisions of Akufo-Addo clearly showed how weak he was. But you see, my question is not to decide among the president the two presidents, who is the weakest? Because it will be as though I'm endorsing.
We know who is the weakest. Mahama is. We know.
That is your opinion. I will leave it to hold it. It's your choice of words you want to use. Go ahead. But to go ahead and even describe the president as a dead goat, it's very unfortunate.
Who described it?
Very. You did so. You said so.
He did himself.
You said so. Please.
He did himself.
So.
But he is. He did himself, and he is. Or you don't think?
For me, I think that these issues will be resolved, and we'll see the end of it very soon. Okay. Let's move on.
All right, Musah. They say you are the cause of all this problem. You are the one who kept mentioning names of people and saying they are. He's supposed Ato.
He's the one that has brought Ato on top at once.
No, he didn't bring Ato.
He did.
The supporters.
I've just told you, he's the one that brought Ato.
I think that is the belief of some of these guys in MPP. They think the numbers that comes out there is my own imagination. And indeed, if that logic is correct, then I supported Bawumia. And that was an allegation that was leveled against me.
Okay, because you put Bawumia on top.
But he was
He
leading.
didn't put Bawumia on top. It was obvious. Bawumia was doing his own thing. He tapped him.
Dedi kama amena Pendream TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, Pendream TV.